So can you look at the bridge? Can you look at the house, how they are standing? They are standing on a stilt. Now why it is this? As I mentioned before, Kuala Lumpur gets a lot of rain. And when the rain comes, flood comes. So people learn to coexist with the river. The river is very important because without the river, the tin cannot be transported out until the British started to build other transportation like the railway. And they also had some other way of transporting out. And this bridge is known as the Jawa Street Bridge because the name of the street was Jawa. Later, the name of the road changed to Mountbatten and today is known as Tun Perak Road or Jalan Tun Perak. Look at this bridge. It is made of what? Yes, it's made of wood. That's how the early days of this Jawa Street Bridge. Today, you can see this is where the Jamaica station is located. There is a tube underground built. The place where the man is squatting is the land where it was a cemetery. Now today, this place is the Jamaica Mosque. Can you see the river boat? Now this river boat is interesting, and you can see the boat has a roof. Now that is because to travel from the mouth of the river, which is the Straits of Malacca, to come to Kuala Lumpur, which is deep inside, it was not an easy job because they have to row their boat not 1 day, not 2 days. It might even take up to 7 days for them to row the boat. But they have no choice because in order to transport the tin out. Now why did they end up here? Because if they go further into the Klang River, the river was even more shallow. So they say, let's bring the tin around Kuala Lumpur to a collection area, which is the Kuala Lumpur area, and then they put their tin into the boat and transport it to other parts where they are needed. Kuala Lumpur became the collection center for tin. Hu Xiu, one of the earliest Chinese men, was invited by Sultan Puasa. Now Sultan Puasa was known to be an honest man in those days because he doesn't cheat. So other people might cheat in the weighing, but this man was an honest man. That's the story that I heard. And he weighs and charges accordingly, somewhere around 10%. And when it's like a toll gate, when you pass through Klang River, then he charges, you have to pay them money. So this is how they made collections of money by using of the money, so the well-being of the people who come and trade there. So the Chinese people, when they came in, Sultan Puasa was not able to supply the needs of the Chinese people because Chinese people have their own needs, especially because Sultan Puasa was a Muslim, where the Chinese people, they have various other deities. And because of that, Sultan Puasa said, why don't you Chinese people come and open a sundry shop or shop which is needed for the Chinese people? So that's why one of the earliest sundry shop, I believe, was opened just where today you can see the HSBC Bank. Okay, that is just across the river. Can you see that house? Somewhere around that area, of perimeters of about 15 meters, there could be the first Chinese sundry shop was started. And then Kuala Lumpur started to become more prosperous starting from the 1857. This is how you will see. Can you see the bridge there? Of course, today the Jawa Street Bridge is completely different, transformed into something else. Now what you can see now, the same river, the Klang River that flows today, you can see a lot of things being done. The river being dug deeper because of flood problem. Now where we are standing is where the mosque to be built. Now this mosque was built by the British to replace another small mosque that was located across the river. Now this particular mosque was made in a pyramidical style. The mosque that you see today in Kuala Lumpur, which is representing the Mughal architecture, is from India. This influence brought by the British people into this country. The tall building that you see over the other side, it's known as the Lee Rubber Building. Now, for the reason Kuala Lumpur grew is because of tin and also rubber in the later days. The land that we are standing here was once upon a time was a place of a burial. The local people at that time brought the bodies and buried here. And recently when Kuala Lumpur City Hall did their renovation for the Sultan Abdul Samad Jamaica Mosque, they found that lot of tombstones still buried underneath. This was a burial ground in the past. When the mosque was started to build, they exhumed out all this body and brought to another burial ground that is located somewhere near to Petronas Twin Tower. Our Sultan Puasa, who now to be known as the founder of Kuala Lumpur, Sultan Puasa lived until the age about 83. He died somewhere around 1905 and his body is buried in a cemetery near to Petronas Twin Tower. Now you can still find this burial ground if you go up to Petronas Twin Tower. When you go up to the 86th floor, you will be able to see this burial ground from that observation deck. Now Sultan Puasa, he collects money for the tin that passes through the river. So this is how he makes money. This is how he makes his earning. But he was known as to be an honest man. And when the tin industry was getting better and better, the demand was increasing. He in fact called the Chinese people to come in and start to open tin mine in Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur itself did not mine tin. Though Kuala Lumpur have a lot of tin even today, but the tin was actually mined from neighboring area and brought as a collection center. Kuala Lumpur was the collection center of tin, and something that we would say the business hub of Kuala Lumpur 100 years ago. Even today, you will see many different ethnic groups of people who gathered in that area.